Chuck Kennedy here from the InsiderCarDeals.com, welcoming you to today's broadcast where we're going to talk about two values for every car. Two values on every car and how you can know how to value them, how you can understand the differences and what to look for in it. So I'm thankful that you joined me today. Again, my name is Chuck Kennedy and I am with the InsiderCarDeals.com here in Sarasota, Florida, and bringing you this live video in order to help you in your car buying process or your car selling as an individual. I spent over 30 years in the car business in some form of sales. Started as a salesman, worked my way up as a finance manager, spent many years in the finance department as a finance manager, what they call a business manager. And then I also have done internet management, where I would take care of all the incoming internet leads and requests. And then I've also done sales manager position, where I was the sales manager for a staff of salespeople selling the cars. So what I'm saying is that I'm uniquely qualified to share with you and to help you to understand how a dealership thinks and how they look at it, how they view the deals, your deal in particular, in order to help you save some money. Now, dealerships are great. They are expert at what they do. They're going to make money, and that's not a problem, because if people do not make money, then we wouldn't have a free society. Profit is not a dirty word, and dealers are going to make money. So your tidbit of information and your particular deal is not going to break the dealership. However, in your case, it will help you if you desire to save money. Again, we talked last week the fact that doing deals, buying a car is an emotional thing. Most people are emotionally involved in buying a car. So they like the color, they like the sporty style, they like the look of it, and so they have to have it. And whatever the cost, they'll pay it. You can see this with, like, for instance, Volkswagen right now is coming out with an electric car in Europe. And they've already taken orders. It's not made yet. They've already taken orders and at a manufacturer's retail price or above for this car. And people pay it when they first come out like that. Why? It's an emotional experience. They want it. They gotta have it. They don't care what they pay for it. If you're one of those people, then maybe this program is not for you, because this is for the more analytical mind that wants to know that they're getting the very best deal they can, or they want to make the most on selling their car when they go to get rid of the car that they own now. So I want to talk to you today about two separate values on every vehicle on the road. Two values. The first value is a wholesale value. It's what it's worth to a dealer, wholesale. It's what a dealer would actually pay for it. The second value is a retail value. That's what the general public is going to pay for. Now, the general public generally is not able to buy at the dealer wholesale value, because they haven't spent thousands of dollars to get their dealer license, and there's not really any need to for one deal or two deals every year or two. But they want to do it. You know, they will go in there and they want to do it at the dealer cost, but it can happen from time to time, but it's not the norm. Again, dealers are here to make money. People selling a car, you want to make money. You want the most you can for your vehicle. There's nothing wrong with that. But where the conflict comes in is that the buyer matched up with the seller. The buyer wants the lowest, the seller wants the highest, and it becomes a negotiated process. That's the car business. That's why it's fun. That's why I like it. So there's nothing wrong with those things. It's just you need to understand it's not a combative process. It's not one that should make anybody angry. It's just the way it is. And let me tell you, the one who owns the vehicle, whether it be you or the dealer selling your car, the one who owns it, then that's the one who can say what they'll sell it for. And if they don't want to sell it for that, don't get upset, because they may be asking for more than what the place down the road is asking for. It's their car. They can ask whatever they want. So it's fine. But maybe if you don't want to pay that, you just have to look somewhere else until you find what you want to pay. So there's two values on every vehicle on the road, two values. And the values are wholesale and retail. And you got to know which is which, and you got to know how you're buying, whether you're buying based on wholesale or retail, or whether you're selling based on wholesale or retail. Now, the dealer cost is a wholesale value. It's what the dealers pay at the auction for used cars. It's what the dealer pays invoice for from the manufacturer. That's considered wholesale. That sets the parameters for wholesale. Now, in our technological age, we have a great resource at our hands. The auction data, sale data, registration data. We have it's tremendous data available to us to be able to determine what these values are. That's what I'm here for, to help you. I am a small independent dealer, and I have paid for that access to those data, and I'm willing to share it with you. I'll do it free on this program. If you contact me on the website and I can help you in negotiating or buying a car, then there would be a small fee involved for that. But it would by far save you more than the fee. And if I don't, then I'll refund your fee. That's fair enough, isn't it? So I want to use my counsel to help you to keep more money in your pocket. Is that fair? And I am uniquely qualified to do that because I've been on the dealership side for over 30 years, making them a whole lot of money. Now, the tables have turned. This time, I want to be on your side. I am on your side, if you'll let me be. And together, we'll get a plan, we'll use this data and this research, and we'll know before we go exactly what's good or bad or indifferent. So, back to values. The invoice on a new car would be the wholesale value. But don't be fooled by that. All invoices, used to, you could bring out an invoice and show somebody, say, well, this is what I paid for it. But it's not really. Because the dealership gets some percentage kickbacks, so to speak. Not really kickbacks, but they get money back from the manufacturer below the invoice. And it goes for various things. They may or may not want to give it up to sell that vehicle. That's their prerogative, 100% up to them. But to start off with, there is what they call a dealer holdback. And every dealership has a dealer holdback, unless the manufacturer has taken it away from them because they want to make them build a new dealership or something like that. And sometimes these franchises will use that against them and do that. But for the most part, a dealer's going to have at least a 2% holdback, and in many cases 3% below invoice. Now the way that's figured is you take the invoice, you take the MSRP, the sticker price on the car, you subtract the transportation fee. All of them have a transportation fee. Usually it's $800 or $900. It gets it from the port to where you're at, or from the manufacturer's origin to where you're at. It's got to be trucked to you. It's got to come in, so it costs. So you pay for it. It's on your window sticker. Check it out. Now, the way to figure holdback accurately is you take that MSRP, that's the manufacturer's suggested retail price, at the bottom of the window sticker, and you subtract that fee, the $900. So let's say $10,000 car, just for example. Subtract the $900 fee to get it there. So now you got a $9,100 car, MSRP, manufacturer's suggested retail, and then you take 2% of that figure in order to get an accurate cost of the holdback, what the holdback is. So then that really becomes now invoice on that car. There are other bonuses, so to speak, from the manufacturer. And each one has different amounts. Each manufacturer has different amounts, and it varies from time to time. But there are other things there, maybe as much as 10% backup invoice that they have that they could give up. They don't like to, but they could give it up in order to sell you a car. And they're still not losing money there. So that's good news for you, because now you know, you can do a little research and find out, exactly what those numbers are for the brand that you're looking at. And then you go in well equipped to know, well, if the salesman pulls out invoice and says, well, look, this is what I'm paying for it. Well, that may be what the standard is, but I know better. There are bonuses beyond that you're getting that you could give up. You don't have to give them up. You could give them up. Now, some dealers don't want to. Now, you'll find, let me say this on new cars. We're talking new cars right now. We're going to talk on used cars in a second. But new cars right now, you'll find that if there is a dealer on every corner, so to speak, of your brand and that car, then you'll find that the dealer is much more willing to come below invoice and really mark it down in order to make that deal, because one of the competitors will. If you're shopping a brand that only has one dealership in a 50-mile radius or even larger, they can pretty much hold whatever they want, because most people are not going to go way outside that radius to buy it. And so they can hold more profit, and they will. And I don't blame them. It's supply and demand, and that's the way business works. So you need to keep that in mind in your negotiating process. Don't get discouraged. There is discounts, and you can research it. Now, what about used cars? How do you establish wholesale on used cars? Well, I used to have people come into the dealership and say, well, Kelley Blue Book said this. And, that seems to be the main one that people use, consumers use, is Kelley Blue Book. The Blue Book value says this. Maybe they don't even know Kelley. Blue Book value says this. Well, Blue Book value, although it's a huge, well-known name, is not the value that dealers use. It's okay to look at the Blue Book value as a guideline, but it's not really the accurate dealer call for a vehicle. Now, you might get these mailers in the mail that say, we're going to give you Blue Book value for your trade, no matter what. And be careful of those, because that's not 100% correct. It's intended to get you in the door. And what it will do, once you get in, and the fine print may or may not say this, that they're going to deduct for the miles and, of course, the condition of the car before they give you Blue Book. And so Blue Book is a well-known name, but the dealers use the auction results, what they call Manheim, MMR. Manheim is one of the primary real-time valuators for a used car, because you see on that what other dealers are paying right now, because next month's not going to be the same and the month before it's not the same. It varies. It's always changing on a used car. So a used car value, most dealers check MMR, Manheim Resource, and that's a listing of all the cars like that one that have gone through in the United States or their particular area. They can drill it down to their area, and that will give them a value, a realistic value of like model cars that have sold recently to a dealer, that a dealer was willing to pay that amount for it, and that establishes a wholesale value. Another good value that a dealer uses is Black Book values. Black Book, and that would be average I very rarely in my 30-some years in the car business saw a dealer put clean book in a trade-in car. See, they list on Black Book, you have rough, you have clean, you have rough, you have average, then you have clean and extra clean. Well, you can figure your car, according to the dealer's point of view, when they're going to write the check for it, the wholesale value to them is going to be average or less. And then they're also going to look at what does the car need. If it needs tires, they're going to subtract for that. If you got body work that needs done, they can get it done cheaper than you, but they're still going to subtract their cost for it. This is how they figure the what they're going to write a check for, what the wholesale value to them is. Why do they figure it that way? Well, because then they're going to want to retail it. They're in the business to make money, so they're going to want to retail it. So that's why they take a good look at it from the wholesale perspective, and then they're going to get a retail value and retail it. Now, when I was appraising on the desk, I would take a look at what the cars have sold for in the area, what they actually sold for, not what the people are asking for them, but what they've actually sold for in the area. And that would be my starting point. I'm going to say to myself, I can get, let's say, $12,000 on average for this car, this model, this make, this miles, in the area that I live. I can get $12,000 for it. So I got to figure what I'm going to have to do to it. I'm going to have to recondition it, clean it. I'm going to have to fix it, put tires on it, whatever I'm going to have to do. I got to subtract those things and subtract then how much money I actually want to make on it. $2,000, $3,000, $1,000. Well, that's up to the individual dealers. And of course, the market value determined that. The market value determined how much I can sell it for. Because if they're selling for $12,000 everywhere, you're probably not going to sell it for $13,000. I mean, people are smart enough, they check on the internet and they'll find the $12,000 or less out there and they'll go buy them. And so if you're out there at $13,000, nobody's even going to look at it. So you got to figure it from there. Now, I'm telling you this in order to help you if you got a car you want to trade in or you want to sell it. I'm telling you how you can look at it. Now, you can go in here and they have several of these companies that will buy your car supposedly on the spot. Some will come to you, some you have to bring to them. And they'll give you a value online. But what they're doing is they're giving you a value of lower than auction value, lower than wholesale, so they can go to the auction and sell it and make a profit themselves. Unless they have a car lot, a retail lot like CarMax does. And then they can retail it as well. But what you're doing is you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you sell it to one of them, because you're selling below even the dealer price, which is invoice, which is wholesale price. And so unless you just desperately need money really quick, that's probably not a good way to go. But if you'll determine, and I'll help you to, if you'll determine a wholesale value and a retail value, and then you can knowledgeably, confidently market the car you want to sell or trade at the right price, whether you sell it yourself or you sell it to a dealer, wholesale. You've got to figure out which one you want to do, wholesale or retail. Or on the car you want to buy, it's the same process. You need to figure out the retail price, the wholesale price, invoice on a new, less all the fees, less all the bonuses. Or on the used car, the auction price, what they're going for now, right now. And this will help you to save a lot of money, because there's big money in cars. Let's talk about when you go to trade one in. A lot of people don't realize this, but watch the terminology between what they say. We're going to allow you, say $15,000 for your car. We're going to allow you that. An allowance is not the actual cash value of your car. It's not what you're getting for the car. An allowance is just that. It's an allowance. What that's doing is taking what the dealer feels is the actual cash value of your car, and he's taking profit out of his car and adding on top of that in order to show you a number that's higher than what you're really getting for your car. And that's called an allowance. And there are ways to know what they're really giving you. I don't have time to get into it all today. We'll spend another program on that. There are ways to know that. But you need to know the terminology. And even if they tell you, yeah, that's what I'm really giving you for the car, then it's not necessarily, because only the dealer knows, or who's ever buying your car in trade-in situations. Because they got a price on their car, and if they're willing to discount their car some, if they roll it over into what they're giving you for your car, then it looks like you're getting $2,000 or $3,000 more for your car than you really are. And so you're really happy. They had a thing out some years ago called the Foursquare, where it was a type of clothes where you would give people options. And what it was really meant to do, it was to boil down whether they were more interested in the price of the retail car, the price of the trade, or the payment, or the down payment. Those four things. So what the person would gravitate to would tell the salesperson, this is their hot point. This is what we got to work on. And then it would tell them in return how to process that deal, to structure it in order to present it so that on their hot button, they look like they're getting the best thing. No. You just, knowledge, intelligence will help you overcome these hurdles like that. Now, unless you just like paying too much money for the car. So, you've got to realize when you go in to trade a car that there's really two different transactions. The purchase of one is one transaction, and the sale of your trade is a separate transaction. And in fact, a financing of them is a third transaction. And all three are profit centers for the dealer. All three. So, I'm trying to help you with this today because I want you to keep that hard-earned money in your pocket and enjoy the car that you want and have a good experience doing it. I can tell you, I can guarantee you that me having been in the car dealership, I know how it is. We love our customers. We appreciate them. We're thankful for them. But we're just making a living. And, to make a living means you got to make a profit or you don't make a living. So, turn the table. You as the consumer now, me as the consumer now. That's fine, we realize that. And we're not trying to, make them go broke, but we just want a fair deal. We just want a knowledgeably fair and straightforward deal with no games, no coercion, no hard sale. Let's just do business, and we'll make this thing work. So, a knowledge of how it works and what happens with it, that is the difference that'll save you money. Now, I'm inviting you. My name is Chuck Kennedy. You can email me at chuck.kennedy@theinsidercardeals.com. You can email me questions. You can email me information on a car you're looking at to buy, and I'll give you values. I'll do this for you free right now. And then you can also email me information on a car you have that you want to trade or sell. I'll give you values. I'll give you wholesale and retail on both. I'll give you wholesale and retail so that you'll know. And I'll discuss it with you if you want as to what I feel like is fair that you'll get for it, and or that you'll have to give for it. And I'll do this for you at no charge. Again, chuck.kennedy@theinsidercardeals.com is my email address. You can go to my website, which is under construction, but it's got enough on there you can leave me information, at theinsidercardeals.com, theinsidercardeals.com, or on the Facebook page you're watching this on. It's Car Buying Secrets Revealed, and you can just IM me on that. My number is 941-447-4538. You can text me, 941-447-4538. And I want to thank you for joining me today. And I want to say that I'm here to help. This time, I'm on your side because I want to see you save some money. All right, contact me. Get in touch with me today, and let's put a deal together. I think it'd be great. I know you'll enjoy purchasing a new car, new to you, maybe a used one, but still new to you, or selling your car and benefiting from it so that you can go buy another car or whatever you need to do. All right, so until next Saturday morning, 10:30 a.m., I'll be back with you then. But please, would you share this in your timeline so that others can know that this service is available? And please, I am information on the car, and let's talk about specific cars next time. I'll be on next week, 10:30, another topic having to do with saving you some money in the car buying process. All right? God richly bless you. I'll see you next week.